Good morning and welcome everyone. Yes, we are now reaching the middle of our live week. So it is part 3, it is screen capture. So it is provided by the training show, and it is more than a show. We also have the website with tips, tricks, articles and much, much more. So more on that later. But today we are taking a look at screen capture, and we promised more than just one platform. So we will be covering something on Windows, something on Mac, and something very nice on iOS. So without further ado, I shall sort out the screen so you can see Mike's and not mine.
Very much. Okay, I'm going to show two things. I'm going to show print screen, which it's been around since Windows has first been around, and I'm going to show the snipping tool. So let's start with print screen. What I'll do is I'll run Excel here, and we just get the Excel kind of startup screen where you can either choose to open a workbook or start a new workbook. And maybe I'm creating a training manual. So what I want to do is I want to take a screenshot of that. And yes, I could use the snipping tool, and the snipping tool is available under Vista. It's also available under Windows 7. But if you happen to be on a machine that had an older version of Windows, then unless you use a third-party piece of software, and those aren't always available, you can resort to good old print screen. So if I press print screen here, it doesn't appear to do anything, but it has taken a screenshot of the whole screen. And if I run Word, what it does is it stores it on the Windows clipboard, and I'll just go and paste. And there it's pasted it in. It's pasted the whole screen in. You can't actually choose what portion of the screen to take. If you've got two monitors, by the way, it does take both monitors. So what I'll do now is I'll select that image and I'll crop it. So I'm using the built-in cropping tools. Whoops. Let's try that again. There we go. The built-in cropping tools of Word. If you've got something like Photoshop or PaintShop Pro, then what you can do is instead take it into there and save it as a JPEG. So I could save that file, or I could click away. I can even right click on that file there and choose save as picture. So I can actually save it as a JPEG or a different format directly from here. So that is the built-in options. It's a little bit more useful than it used to be, particularly now that you can do things in Word for cropping and saving the picture. But the snipping tool, let's have a look at that. As I said, this was brought in with Vista, and it lets you take screenshots. So again, I'll run Excel. And if I then run the snipping tool, what it does is it gives me a little panel over here, and I can choose 4 options. One of 4 options. I can choose from Freeform Snip, which lets me create a snip of any shape. I'd literally just draw around and it takes a snip of that. I've got a rectangular snip. I can do a full screen snip, and I can also snip just a window. So if I've got multiple windows, I can choose to snip a window, but I'll do a rectangular snip. So I've got new selected. All I'll do is draw around the area, let go, and I've got my snip, and at this point I can just choose to save it. It automatically saves it to the clipboard as well, so I can paste it in somewhere else. That's a tick box in the options. And I've also got these tools here. So I've got a highlighter tool if I wanted to highlight maybe the rows and the columns, and I've also got a pen which I can add things on there as well. And those annotations do get saved. So I'll save it. I've got a choice of PNG, GIF and JPEG. I'll just save it to my desktop. I'll call it Capture. Close that down. And there is my image. So you can see it does save the annotations. Let's start a new document in Excel. One of the real problems with the snipping tool and print screen is the ability or the requirement you often have to capture, say, a menu like this. Because if I go and run the snipping tool, the snipping tool is now active. You can see the little crosshair. If I cancel that, then click that, because I want to take a screenshot of that, click back on new, and you can see the menu disappears. So there is a trick to be able to do that. I've clicked on new, I click on cancel, and then I click on control and print screen. So control and print screen, bring up that, let's try it again, bring that up, control and print screen, and then I can draw around my menu. I've got my menu captured. Okay, so what you do, you start a new capture, press cancel, then press control and print screen, and then you get your crosshair back. And I can then save that. So that is a quick tour of the snipping tool and print screen on Windows, and I will now hand over to Elaine, who's going to take you through some other options.
Fantastic. You should be seeing iTunes and you should be seeing the training show in iTunes. Right, I'm going to use that to capture, that's all. So what I'm using is Skitch, which has been around for a long time. But it's still the best in my opinion. It is amazing. So there is Skitch. Now, it is available free of charge. It used to be owned by Plask, but Evernote have bought it and they are increasingly adding features to it to integrate it in with Evernote. So that's some of the things that I intend to look at. So that's the interface. It's an odd interface. I must admit it has its quirks, but generally speaking, it works well. So once you've got it running, there is a shortcut key which is Command Shift and 5, and what that will enable you to do, it gives you these crosshairs. So hopefully you can see the crosshairs. I believe you can. And what you can do with that is just draw around the elements you want, like that. And it is as simple as that to take a capture, and it appears in the Skitch window. Now, you do have a lot of other options when it comes to which areas of the screen to capture. So just to show you, I have this huge menu. In my opinion, it's a little long, but everything is in there. There is the crosshair snapshot. There is a full screen one. If you've got Safari running, you can snap from Safari. You can also paste a link in to snap from. You could frame a snapshot. You could use the camera. You could re-snap, and you can actually capture Skitch itself, so you are pretty much covered with what you can capture with Skitch. But Skitch doesn't stop there. A lot of the time when you have screen captures, you've got the capture and then you need to take it somewhere else to make some notes on it, but in here you don't. First thing to think about is what colour you would like your annotations, and that is accessed over here, one of the quirky interface elements. You have some colour wells, but you can also choose a custom colour, and then that will bring up the colour palette and you can choose anything from in there. So you're not limited to the options that you have here, but I will go for red so we can see it. And then you have your tools on the left hand side. So if I wanted to draw around and draw attention to the title, I can do that. And I can really draw attention to it like this. I can also type, so put on there new show. I would say with the text, I wish they gave us more options, because it has a border around the text. You can see there, if I put that over there, you can see it has a sort of white border on it. If the text is white, then the border is black. But there's no getting away from that. That is how it is, and that is that. Right, once you've got your capture, you can do various things with it. So let's lose iTunes in the background. The quirky thing, one of the quirkiest things and the best thing, is down here at the bottom. It has named it for you. It has taken the name iTunes from the application that was snapped. You can down here change the file format. So I'm going to stick with PNG myself, but you could change that. And you can rename it in there before you actually do anything with it. and then you can just drag it out. So that has dragged that out and put it on the desktop, and then you can bring Skitch back. But if what you want to do with it is maybe publish it so other people can see it. Traditionally, you had a Skitch account, or you had the option of having a Skitch account. Increasingly, they are deprecating that. I still have my Skitch account. If we look in the share options here and we open the share options, you can see I do have my Skitch account. But as you can see, it's saying personalise my account. I don't seem to be able to get back into it. That could be either it is completely deprecated, or it's because I have used Evernote once. Now, I was a little disappointed about that, I must admit, but having tamed Evernote, I actually think Evernote's a better way to go. So what I've done is I've authorised my Evernote account, and I've elected to have Skitch, when I save to Evernote, save to a special notebook called Skitch Shares. I will explain why, and I will show you that. But that's where it's going to go if I share it with Skitch. So that's what I'm going to do. So I shall elect to share, and it's actually uploading. So that's the first thing it's doing. There it is, saved to Evernote, and it's created a shared note link, which I can click to copy. So I have copied that. What I'm now going to do is go and get a browser and paste that in. So there's my browser with it pasted in, and you can see that is shared up there for anybody to see. I can also from here then share that with Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn, or just take a link and post that somewhere else. That is slightly smaller than I took, so I can click to enlarge and I get the whole thing. No adverts or anything with it. So that's the first thing that's happened with it. I've shared it. It is now live online. In terms of controlling it, if you actually look at what you have here, it's got the Evernote at the bottom, but in terms of control and stuff, there isn't much. There used to be a lot more on Skitch. So how do you control these things once they're up there, because they're public? Right, so I'm going to lose that, and I'm going to go and get Evernote, which is on my other screen, which has disappeared. Right, come on Evernote. Right, what I've got here. There is Evernote, and here is my notebook, my Skitch shares, and as you can see, I have 3 in there. My new share is not there, so what I'm going to do is synchronise. So I'm syncing with Evernote. You can see it's downloading note data, and what it has done is put that share in Evernote. Now, I think that is really fantastic, because it gives me, if I keep them separate in my notebook, my Skitch shares notebook, then I can immediately stop sharing that just by deleting the note. So I can come in here, and if I no longer want that to be shared, all I have to do is delete that. But it also allows me to go back and look at what I have shared. So if all I can remember is I shared it and I did it via Evernote, then all I've got to do is come back and look in that notebook. Now, how I've done that and organised that is, you can see I do have ZZ_Evernote admin. And what I've got in there is my demo and shopping lists and templates, and I put my Skitch shares. And that's so it's not involved in the rest of my notebooks where all my genuine notes are. And as you can see, I do have a lot of notes, almost 1,600. So it just enables me to organise my notes better. So I find that incredibly helpful. So we have seen Skitch on the desktop. We have seen linking it with Evernote. Let me take this out of the way and let me lose Skitch on the desktop. Right, what I'm going to do now is look at the iOS version. If you think the desktop one's good, the iOS one's even better. Unbelievably it is. So I am going to my iPad, and the first thing I have to do is make sure that you can see my iPad. So you should be able to. And from there I'm going to go into Skitch. Right. When it first came out, it was functional. You could at least take screenshots or photos even and annotate them. But as it's gone along, it's got even better. Right, so I'm going to show you one of the best things you can do with your iPad and Skitch. Right, you have in your iPad some kind of location services. So if I tap the map straight from Skitch, I'm not going out to the maps on the iPad. What I'm doing here is actually doing all of this from within Skitch. And then I could either go and find the location that I want to take a screenshot of the map and annotate, or I can just tap over across on the left. There is the crosshairs, and I'm going to tap that, and it will find where we are, and there it is. That's exactly where I am right now. But I'm going to go from here. I'm just dragging that down. I'm going to go from here across at the M60 near the Trafford Centre. Keep going, and there is Old Trafford. So what I can do with this is zoom in a little bit more. I could zoom out whatever I need to do. So there we go. That is almost right, because what I'm going to do with this is create an annotated map for somebody who's going to Old Trafford, and they are looking for parking. Okay, so that's my map there. That's about right. Get that in the right place. Then what I do is tap the button in the middle of those three, which will take a capture of it. And as you can see, it is saving it. It will then take me back into Skitch. And in here, I can now actually start annotating that. So I need to point out the fact that Old Trafford is there. So I better choose red for that. And then I go and choose one of these tools. I think I'll go for the ellipse there and just draw around that. That's Old Trafford there. But it's the car park we're interested in. Where's the car park? So I shall go and get an arrow and point towards the car park. The car park is there. Very nice car park, very close by. And I'll put a text note on there as well. So I'll put that up there, out of the way. And I have no point typing that on my physical keyboard, so that's attached to my Mac. I shall put in there, car park is £10 a game. And it really is. Licence to print money is £10 per game. There we go. And done on that. And I can move that round. So if I wanted to move that round, I could. I shall put that there. And I have that annotated. Now, what I need to do with it now is make sure that I can send that to whoever I need to send it to. And I have lots of options. I have, if I tap the third button down, I could AirPlay this, I could tweet it, I could email it, or I could even save it to my camera roll. But you'll notice there was an option missing, and that was Evernote. But the Evernote button is second down. So if I just tap that, that's exactly what that's doing now. It is preparing it. It says map note created in sale. That's not what I want. What I want is to type something in. So I shall put in there MUFC car park. There we go. And save that. And what I'm doing with that when I save it is save it up to Evernote. So it's actually saving that up to Evernote in the cloud. When you save either on the desktop version or the iPad version, it is interacting with the site, the Evernote site. It is not using a local copy. Authorization expired. Fantastic. This worked this morning, believe me. Right, well, it should offer me the option to re-authenticate. So will you do that? It's trying again. It should at least let me re-authenticate. Right, I will explain what that's talking about. When you're using Evernote to save elements to from any other application, it must be authorized. No, it's not. It's not letting me do that. Well, luckily I did that earlier this morning, so at least we can see what that looks like. So what I'll do is I will bring back my Evernote from over here, and you can see there is the one I did this morning, and luckily for me it does say today 10:38:39, so you know I'm not cheating. I really did that. There we go. Car parking behind the pub, £10, and I put lots of little arrows on it. So what I will need to do with that is re-authenticate it to have access to what is called the Evernote API in the background. But it should prompt you the first time you do that. I don't know why that has expired, but I will investigate, and I will probably talk about it on a future show. But for now, there are tips for screen capture from Windows, Mac and iOS. So, we have been the training show, our third live show. If you would like the notes that accompany this, the reference materials from today and all the other live events, they are available in the 5-part course, which includes the entire course in PDF. And you can get that by subscribing to the newsletter at thetrainingshow.com/newsletter. We are continuing to go live for the rest of the week. So, tomorrow we are taking a look at iTunes U, levelling the playing field in education. It's such an amazing system. So much to see. So that is tomorrow. And on Friday, Mike is detailing the email problem and how to solve it. So I'm thinking I'll just give him my inbox, which is somewhat overfull, shall we say. We also tomorrow, on Thursday, have the second part of our Office 2013 preview. Yesterday went incredibly well. So many positive comments and people are really liking this version of Office. So tomorrow we are taking a look at OneNote, Excel, which Mike is very excited about, some great features in Excel. And I am even more excited about PowerPoint. There are some stunning features in PowerPoint. So that is what we're doing tomorrow afternoon. But in the evening, we are back. Yes, it is a training show all day. Mike is taking a look at making magic with Excel forms. So how to safeguard your data and restrict data entry to forms so you get complete accuracy. And for speed. And, of course, don't forget the training show is a show and it is available in iTunes, as you have seen in my demo. So subscribe, give it a listen and give us a review. We are still hanging on there in new and noteworthy, so it would be great to have some comments. But until tomorrow, this has been the third training show live and we shall see you next time.